It is time for Fiery Star's Wrath here, stage 24 today in Boss Rush, and we're going to break it all down for you as the #1 free-to-play player to help you succeed and get an amazing fast-paced score. That's right. With that, thank you for tuning in. As always, if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Questions, comments along the way, let me know, because I love to hear from you, and we'd love to see you in our amazing community and Discord server, my friends. It's a great spot for additional help. With that, let's go ahead. First and foremost, make sure you collect your supply chest, get your suppression level up, because it does help and make a difference. We're almost at level 100, my friends. With that, regardless, we're almost all the way through as well. So here at 24, let's get into it here. Couple things. First and foremost, as always, we do have these special conditions. In this battle, the cookies will have certain stats adjusted. Biscuit levels at 20, min cookie levels 90, skill levels 90, everything else, doesn't matter. Regardless, though, that gear does, so make sure that you're paying attention to that. We'll cover a couple of details here regardless on our team that we're going to run with and the synergy teams. Additionally, though, you can check out all of our gear guides here on the channel as always. With that, let's go ahead and break this one down. The first rule of Boss Rush is making sure that you check out the boss information. The boss receives increased ice type damage but inflicts stun with each attack there for the very first one with the regular effect. The second one is a rage effect. The boss reduces damage dealt by targets weak against interrupting effects, but is vulnerable to rapid attacks and receives increased wind type damage. All right, so what does that mean? Let's go ahead here. First and foremost, we do have an ice type team right here. So with this one, we are a little bit more focused and honed in on the ice pieces. Make sure that you got Throne of Frost. Make sure you got the Frost Queen in here to add more of that rally effect, more frost damage. Certainly nice. We got Echoes of Power. We got Rebirth. We got Absolute Faith. We have Strike of Destiny, and then Giant Pom Pom in this one in particular, my friends. This is the faster team that I have found. Certainly you can try some of the other things. Let's see if I still have one. Something like this. We have a little bit more of a speed ice team here. We don't have our Frost Queen. You could move in Frost Queen into this one as an example. So just quickly here, I'll show you what that could look like. If we do this, flip that one in there, we'll select that as leader instead of PV. There you go. And then additionally, if you want to figure out how to do that, you can absolutely make sure that you do a practice run just like this. Now, again, tweaking those things can make a big difference. We're going to showcase this relatively quickly so that you can see this type of team and how this one's going to work relative to the other one that we're going to do. Now, maybe it might end up dealing more percentage of damage, and then this is going to be the team that you may want to run with instead, my friends, okay? So let's see where we're at, and boom, there it is. We're at 86%. So I'll showcase the other one real quick. This one is actually faster, believe it or not. So let's go back and go to that one. So this is the nice thing about doing some of these things here live and ahead of time as well. So in this case, we're on team 5. In team 5 here, we're a little bit more on the heal side. The other one's a little bit faster. In this case, something else that you can consider here with this team and the way that one works, you're taking advantage of a bunch of different pieces here as well. All right, so this one's actually a little bit slower by about 2% to 4%. So we're actually going to go back to this one. We're going to tweak this one just a little bit better for us here to kind of help us out. So what we're going to do here is this. We're actually going to move in a couple things. We're going to go to our gear, upgrade, make sure we're on everything that we need to be here to really pull through quickly. We're going to go right there, additionally there, and additionally there, plus that on cooldown. Awesome. Now, the main thing on this is making sure you have those 2 defense type. We got 2 magic type, 1 ranged, 1 support, and 1 heal. One of the things that we can do here, though, is we can shift in Shadow Milk, or we can shift in Fire Cookie or Fire Spirit, just like this. Let's see if we get a little bit better damage on the attack and those things, and that's what we're going to try here with this one in particular. Once again, on our gear, attack, ideally you want this stuff to be on cooldown or attack. It's going to make a little bit better difference for you relative to what I did on the first one. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead with this and go for it right now, my friends. If you still got a question, if you got a comment, do let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to see you in our Discord server. A great time as well to like and subscribe, my friends. So that one, we were about 86. I think on the last one, we'll see if we get a little bit more damage in on this side instead on this round, and then if not, then we know to shift back or shift around on some of those other pieces as well. All right, here you go, 85, so not quite as good, honestly. So let's go ahead and we'll back out, switch over and back in, and this is why this stuff is really, really important. If we go back to our light, here we go, let's go right there. Now, one of the things is, does it bump us up? Not quite. So that's the other thing to pay attention to, are those star bonuses. Here we go once again. This one's going to take a little bit more damage. The big key here, though, really on Frost Queen is making sure you get tons and tons of these stacks right there, and making sure those continue to go up makes a huge, huge difference in terms of being able to get more and more damage on this boss. So just calling that piece out so that you're aware from that perspective as well, in order to succeed. There we go, a little bit more, not by much. We'll keep going here because it's going to take a few tickets. Ideally, though, once again, making sure that you can get the maximum amount of frost damage in. All right, I think it's going to take us one more ticket after this. Oh, we are so close, my friends. Come on, can we get it done? Not quite. All right, so let's use one more, 54%. Now, what we will do is when we get to this last piece here, we will pause because we want to cut over to the next team that is going to be able to do much more damage, much faster for us here, regardless. All right, there it is. We'll exit. We'll save that 25 seconds. We do blow a ticket, but that's the way it goes. Let's go all the way back out and into the next piece. So in this next portion here, we got the Rage effect. The boss reduces damage dealt by targets weak against interrupting effects, but is vulnerable to rapid attacks and receives increased wind type damage. So for this one here, we're going to go over to this team right here. We've done this one before, been very, very helpful. One of the things that we will do, though, is to increase that crit and take advantage of some of those pieces. We're actually going to shift over here to Stormbringer and swap those two around. Now, the only thing is here, do you notice we lose just a couple, which is too bad in terms of those parts. If we are able to upgrade some of these other pieces, maybe it's not going to be as big of a deal. However, that damage does make a difference from that perspective. Now, what we're doing is taking advantage of Mint Choco's skill here, triggering all the time. Additionally, the double Stormbringer for the overcurrent, and then Dark Lord Cacao there for the additional summon creatures. Here on our gear, we're on crits, lots of attack, lots of attack, lots of attack, speed here, crit, and then I do and have likes Pavlova. You may want to switch this one to get those stars up just a little bit. Maybe you want to run Creme Brulee here, and then again more attack. Now the key to get these effects is 2 charge, 1 ambush, 3 ranged, and 1 support. Lens are being awesome and super key to these teams. All right, so let's go here for this one. We've broken it down for you. Again, questions, comments, let me know. We'd love to hear from you on our Discord, and once again, thank you for the likes and the subs. All right, so here you go. In terms of these pieces, let's see how close we can make it. Lots of multiple hits, lots of damage getting in. And there you have it. All right, so we're at 3.8 billion. Let's try and back out. We'll swap in Creme Brulee instead, so that you can see that. Let's go to skill elements. Where are you, Creme Brulee? We're going to get a little bit more of a boost right there. All right, Creme Brulee is on attack. Let's go for it again. 3.8. We'll see if we can beat that real quick. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. And then we'll see which one does a little bit better here live. And again, making sure that you make these adjustments and those things. Practicing really helps. We've done a lot of that ahead of time. However, sometimes I just like to showcase these things so that you can see a little bit more real time how I'm thinking, how I'm building, and those parts as well. So 4.1 right there. So that is the better team for us. Again, getting that additional 5% damage and getting into that next piece was super helpful there. So that you can see exactly how to do some of those pieces as well. We should be able to close the gap here now. And hopefully close this one down. 1 Oh, we're so close, my friends. That Fiery Star's Wrath is now done and ours. Look at that. And good thing we saved that 25 seconds. 4 minutes and 37 seconds, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with me as we took down Fiery Star's Wrath here for you today. That is everything that you needed to know on how to break this one down and get through it in Boss Rush, my friends. With that, if you still got a question, if you got a comment, certainly let me know. We're on to stage 25. Look at that. Regardless, though, 24 is ours here. With that, thank you for tuning in. Questions, comments, like I said, do let me know. And we'd love to hear from you down below and in the Discord server. And thank you. Thank you for tuning in today. I truly appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we continue to grow. Such an amazing community here. As always, I truly appreciate it. And thank you for the members, or thank you to our members, and memberships are a great way to support, along with our swag and merch and affiliate links. I truly appreciate it. And don't forget our socials, @me, stay connected, my friends. With that, we'll see you again soon. We're almost through Boss Rush here. Excited about that. And with that, we got a ton more Cookie Run all the time here on the channel. With that, until next time, my friends, keep on running.